Let me tell you a story about a person whose name was Ronald Read. He fixed cars for 25 years and swept floors at J.C. Penney for 17 years. Read died in 2014, and then that not so significant janitor of a small town makes an international headline. Now you might think that he bought a crazy lottery or robbed a bank or some other dark stuff, but actually he invested what little he had in blue chips stocks and then waited for decades and let the compounding effect do its magic, and he ended up with $8 million. On the other hand, there was a man named Richard Fuskin. He was Harvard graduated in MBA, retired at 40 with a successful career in finance. His colleagues praised his leadership skills, sound judgment, and etc. But then he heavily borrows and invests on expanding his mansion and heavily invests on housing. And then one day, the 2008 crisis hits, and it apparently turns Fuskins into dust. High debt and illiquid assets left him bankrupt. One after another, his properties foreclosed, and just 5 months before Ronald Read makes headlines, Fuskin's own house was sold 75% less than its actual price. Well, that was a tragedy. Why I'm contrasting these two stories? Ronald was patient, Richard Fuskin was greedy. That all it took to eclipse the massive education gap and experience between the two. The lesson here is not to be more like Ronald and less like Richard, though that's not a bad advice. The interesting thing is that how they both are when it comes to finance. It is impossible to find a true story in which a janitor performing a heart transplant better than the Harvard graduate. But these kinds of stories do happen in investing. The fact that these two persons coexist can have two explanations. One is that luck plays an important role independent of how intelligent and hard worker you are. And two is that financial success is not hard science, it's a soft skill where how you behave is more important than what you know. And this soft skill has a name. We can call it the psychology of money. And this book is about these soft skills and how you can develop them in your life. And if you are broke and don't want to die broke, then giving your best in order to make better financial decisions and behave in ways that can make you millionaire, then you can start by reading this book.